Hello, I Vishal and Meher. We have worked on solid waste management for Dholka municipality.
When we examined solid waste management system in Dholka, this is what it looked like to us. The GVPs were found at a stretch of every 1.2 kilometer in the city. There is a door-to-door waste collection system, but there is no 100% coverage, due to which people end up throwing their waste in GVPs. Also, according to authorities, there is 100% coverage of street sweeping with the help of 109 sweepers. But when we ran into calculations, we found out that there are 266 members required for the same. So either staff is overworked and there is no 100% coverage. Daily waste generation of city is around 31 tons per day, including household waste, waste from commercial establishments, street sweeping and JVPs. The waste is collected and transferred to a landfill which has an area of 7.38 acres. Before transportation of this waste, it is not segregated, which highlights a major gap. Currently, a new project of processing plant which can handle a waste of 40 tons per day is coming up. To guide our work in solid waste management, we referred three important policy framework. The first one was Gujarat State Urban Sanitation and Waste Management Policy, which emphasizes role of ULBs in managing waste. The second one was Solid Waste Management Rules 2016, which mandates segregation on source. And the third one was Swachh Bharat Mission 2014, which has an overall focus on improving the overall cleanliness of the city.
On analyzing the organizational structure, we found sanitary inspector missing and major workforce on contractual basis, which infers management issues and job securities issues. When we look into the human resources, there are total 146 workers, out of which 36 are permanent and 110 are contractual. Permanent workers are paid 21,000, whereas daily wages are paid 487 rupees. The task is distributed both in male and female equally. Another worker is deployed if someone skips. While mapping the existing scenario in terms of operation and maintenance, current projects, monitoring and reporting mechanism and others, we found that there is no formal route and time schedule for door-to-door collection. Citizens living in narrow road are not aware of the waste collection vehicle arrival. There is no monitoring mechanism for monitoring and reporting for street sweeping processes, no proper attendance so that the workload transfers to one particular person. On estimating, we found 42.5 tons waste left in GVPs. There are small textile industries that hoard their textile waste which flows down to clog the drain. While analyzing the assets, we found that all the assets were satisfactory, but there needs some upgradation. We measured 13 samples from household waste from Gamtal and societies, and we found that the per capita household waste of Dholka city is 180 grams. So 45% of the fuel of Dholka municipality is used in solid collection van. So then also their 40% citizens are not satisfied.
Coming to street sweeping, the process usually starts by 6:30 in the morning and each sweeper is given a span of 300 to 350 meters to sweep. The sweeping in residential areas occurs once or twice in 15 days. There are total 60 routes which covers the whole city. And if we talk about the staff analysis, two male workers are assigned on a span of 15 routes and each one of them is given one broom and one wheelbarrow for the same. Monitoring system for door-to-door collection is done by supervisor present on Nagarpalika, who is responsible for taking attendance, work allocation, and on-site monitoring. The supervisor of agency generally looks after the missing areas and connects to the driver. By 3, the overall process of door-to-door waste collection system gets over. The monitoring process for street sweeping comprises of attendance, work allocation and on-site monitoring. In case of an absenteeism for one or a half-day holiday, employees has to inform by phone, and for more than one day, there is a proper process of form filling. In case of such situation, workload is double to any of the one person with the respect to area. Dholka has applied for Swachh Sarvekshan in 2025 and chose 17 profile areas for the same. There were various initiatives taken such as beautification of streets, placement of dustbins at every 50 meters, awareness of waste segregation by SHGs and clearing up of 13 GVPs on a priority basis.
Looking into monitoring and management portal, that is Swachhtam portal for solid waste management. It is handled by a MIS manager in four segments: capacity building for all purpose waste management processes, solid waste management PFMS for all payments to workers are done via PFMS to ensure transparency, IEC activities for public awareness activities, and use water management for sewage treatment plant under GUDM. For Swachh Survekshan, a central team from SBM comes to notified area, and then first desktop assessment is done. After the desktop assessment, the nominated profile area has a field visit. So wall painting for public awareness is done. Drive for single-use plastic due to blockage of sewer lines. 75 micron plastic was first fined 100 rupees and now 120 micron. For composition of waste in Dholka, we chose squattering and coning process and found that major waste as 20% of food waste and 62% of dirt plus plant waste. Cleaning tax collected from residential is 120 rupees and from non-residential is 225. 68% of people used bins, which was provided by municipality 3 years ago on submitting property tax. 42% people claimed that they segregate waste but used single bin that municipality has already provided. Hence, there was no segregation done or seen. 45% of total fuel is used for collection and cleaning vehicle. 40% of people were not satisfied with the service. As found, the central area of city had organic growth with narrow streets and large sloped differences, making it difficult for door-to-door collection, and street sweeping machines were used only for large main roads. On looking to the budget, amount collected for cleaning tax, that was 5% of the total tax, and amount spent on operation and maintenance for solid waste, that is 12% of the total operation maintenance. Dholka has a fixed amount of cleaning tax. Expenditure on operation and maintenance for solid waste is twice the income through tax. 83% of total repair and maintenance cost is covered by solid waste.
There were some major gaps which we identified. So according to solid waste management rule, it is a mandate to have a city level action plan for all the municipalities, which has been missing for Dholka. Usually after the collection of waste, it first goes to MRF and then to the dumping site. But here the first waste gets into the dumping site and the segregation occurs after 20 to 25 days. As we talked earlier, that according to authorities, there is 100% coverage of street sweeping. The road length of the Dholka is 80 kilometers, which requires 266 sweepers. So, which shows that the staff is either overworked or there is no 100% coverage. The another issue is that on an average, a GVP can be found at an interval of approximately 1.2 kilometers, and 100 litre bins are proposed for every 50 meters, which on calculating covered 5 kilometer of stretch in the city. On analyzing service level benchmarks, we found that 7 out of 8 indicators did not meet the desired benchmark. We took a citizen survey and sample size for the same was 75. So we found that most of the people were not being made aware about the segregation practices, and inefficient cleaning and formation of GVPs has given rise to diseases in the cities. Also, 12% of the surveyed population was not aware about the current timing for door-to-door waste collection system. We analyzed all our issues in 5 different categories, and based on that, we found that the most prominent one was monitoring and management. The other one was inefficient street sweeping process and unstructured door-to-door waste collection system. Also, there was a lack of workforce and no city-level action plan, and ensuring that the guidelines are followed efficiently is a must. Our issues into a matrix of people, process, policy, technology, finance, assets, and infrastructure. And based on that, we came up with this and we identified our target area as people and process for the same.
After analyzing all the issues, we proposed a value chain like from waste generation, waste collection, transportation, processing, and landfill. For immediate results, the waste collecting van should keep the music on as citizens are not aware of the timing. The small industry hoarding textile waste can sell or get it sent to MRF. We also are looking into Jan Seva Mandali and IC activity. Our focus area and vision are inefficient door-to-door collection, in which we are looking at efficient door-to-door collection via route formalization, vehicle optimization, and dashboard monitoring. Second, unstructured street sweeping processes, in which we will develop city-level action plan looking into structured routes, bean analysis, and workforce allocation as per age group. Third, we'll be looking into lack of citizen awareness by Jan Seva Mandali into waste segregation and collection of property taxes.
Based on the issues we saw into the street sweeping process, an action plan is being proposed for the municipality. This plan will roll out into 3 phases. The first one is the planning phase, which will have area identification and frequency allocation, also with workforce allocation, equipment analysis, and bin analysis for the same. The second one would be execution phase, wherein actual operations of street sweeping and GVP's cleanup would take place. And the third one would be a constant monitoring mechanism, wherein documentation and reporting and citizens' feedback and complaints would be taken into consideration. Sweepers are done with the daily task of assigned street and GVP's cleanup. The waste would be collected and it would be transferred to MRF for segregation. So workers involved in street sweeping process can actually go into the MRF and participate in segregation activities. This would lead up to the formation of workers association. Approximately 3 to 4 hours of working based on the schedule of street sweeping and GVP's cleanup can be done by workers, and it would be an opportunity for them to earning extra income based on the hours they invest in this work. We also analyzed the current workforce present in street sweeping process, which is 109, out of which 38 are permanent workers and 71 are daily wagers. The male-female ratio is 40 to 60, and when we ran into the age group analysis of workers, we found that 44% of street sweeping workers are currently aged between 40 to 60, and 10% are above 60. To reduce physical strain and make better use of their experience, we are proposing to transfer the workers above 50 into supervisory or support roles. However, this transition will reduce the number of active sweepers, which will directly impact the daily operations. So to address this gap, it is very necessary to hire new younger contractual workers to maintain current service levels. Prepared example schedule for street sweeping process in Ward 3 and their frequency and time allocation. We also did GVP's mapping based on their frequency and how many times it should be cleaned in a day with the workers associated with it. For attendance, basically we can divide the whole ward into different clusters. So I have divided Ward 3 into 2 different clusters, which will have 14 workers in total and 7 sweepers in each of these workers. And there would be 5 supervisors required for the same, who are responsible for taking the attendance and monitoring the process. So for attendance, we can actually distribute NFC stickers to the ID cards of the sweepers, and by using the NFC app, we can encode data using the right option, which the supervisor has to do a one time. And then for daily attendance, it can be done in 2 different schedules. They just have to open their mobile and scan the sticker, and they'll get all the information about the workers. Once this is done, the whole file can be exported into CSV and shared it to the supervisor head. The monitoring can be done into 2 different time slots. So one is 8 a.m. and the second one is 9:30 a.m. For monitoring purposes, there would be an Excel file distributed to the supervisors. They just have to open the drop down and fill the current situation on the basis what they see. So the monthly attendance file can be submitted to the head of SWM department, which can help them in better resource allocation and observe patterns and trends. And the daily Excel should be submitted to the supervisor of street sweeping, which would help him in tracking the work, identifying the missed areas, and also help to monitor his workforce performance and identify the issues in real time. According to SBM guidelines, the waste collector with handcart should not be expected to walk more than 250 meters. So containers bins should be placed at every 250 meters, and there should be 2 bins provided. Here there are bins present, but we can see them overflowing with waste scattered just below or around them. So we made a proposal to allotment of new dustbins in the Ward 3 according to the footfall and the use of the land and density. So there are 24 bins which are required in Ward 3, and these bins can be enclosed in a metal cage to prevent animals like dogs and cows from scattering the waste. If we talk about the workers association, once they will be registered as a workers association, they can be part of it till 5 years. And after registering, all the workers will compulsorily have to open a bank account, and only registered worker would be allowed to carry out the segregation activities. The salary would be given on the amount of waste segregate per day, and two supervisors would be present on MRF, which can be hired from the existing staff who are aged plus 45. There would be certain benefits given to all of them, such as opportunity to have extra source of income, permanent working place, health checkups every 2 months by tying up with the government hospitals, and collaboration with local schools and NGOs for their kids.
To our next proposal on door-to-door collection, we are addressing issue here is inefficient door-to-door collection. So our main objective is making door-to-door collection efficient. So we have segregated proposals in three different categories: route formalization, vehicle optimization, and process monitoring. The whole project is done on a model ward. So the model ward is selected on ward selection feasibility on this basis criteria, which is ward number 3. So first, coming to route formalization, we mapped GIS mapping for Ward 3, in which we found that wider roads are 17 kilometers, narrow road 6 to 8 feet are 2 kilometers, and pedestrian lanes of 1 kilometer. With baseline assessment, existing time travel and distance, and waste generation pattern and capacity, we formed GIS networks. Route optimization was done by identifying shortest routes, and route validation was done by cross-checking on field for the pilot of Ward 3. Capacity building of Nagarpalika staff to collect GIS data points and basic GIS functioning. Hiring GIS consultant for GIS mapping and all the processes. Our next proposal is vehicle optimization. So according to Municipal Solid Waste 2016, the waste should be segregated in three streams: biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and domestic hazardous waste. On analyzing our present vehicle tipper vans, uh, wet and dry is in ratio of 60 is to 40. So we are just adding a separate box of dimension that will be welded is 0.6 feet cross 2.5 feet cross 3 feet. So this will be done by contracting fabrication vendor, work order from Nagarpalika, fabricating all the boxes and then handover. The expected outcome will be contamination of no contamination of waste, health of waste pickers and collectors will be assured, will lead better segregation of other wastes. For collection in narrow lanes, e-rickshaw can be customized having two large and one small compartment for waste collection in narrow lane, less waste generation capacity areas. In future, e-rickshaws can be charged by EV station at Miti Kui vehicle parking once the processing plant starts generating bio waste for electricity. For pedestrian lanes, manual bins can be operated. Roller bins will be moved by assigned worker collecting waste from households, and a gunny bag will be attached to the roller bin to collect dry waste. A 120-liter bean for collecting wet waste with dry waste in gunny bag will be attached to the bin. A worker will collect for 500 meter. Each typology of collection mechanism to be deployed according to waste generation pattern area. Every vehicle to be integrated with GPS for route monitoring. With baseline assessment, waste generation capacity, workforce and vehicle availability, fabrication of boxes to be done for tipper vans vehicle 1, e-vehicles to be tendered and procured for second narrow lanes, and roller bins to be procured and tendered uh, for pedestrian lanes. Supervisors will continue monitoring throughout the phase, hiring more workers or contracting the operation and maintenance to current agencies. When we look into a vehicle roller bin management system, there is a quality check and cleaning on daily basis, weekly basis, quarterly and annual basis. Due to cleaning processes and wet waste collection, the interior of vehicle develops rust. So zinc coating plus epoxy coating to be done every 6 months, and vehicle log to be maintained. All the data from vehicle maintenance to be updated daily on Excel by supervisor. That data will be fed on the dashboard backend by the city manager. The dashboard will display data of vehicle health and fleet tracking. The monitoring of dashboard to be done by city manager and reported to chief officer monthly. The dashboard will also display complaints backend connected to complaint redressal platform. So here is the implementation plan, how we will get all the tasks done.
Lack of citizen awareness was the evident issue, and so we are proposing a community interface model, Jan Seva Mandli. It would be a person already working as a helper for driver in door-to-door waste collection system. He would act as a visible human bridge between citizens and municipality. His objectives are to improve waste segregation practices, increase the usage of online platforms for complaint registration, and encourage people to pay property tax, which helps in timely collection also. He can be given a 2-day training for hands-on digital platform, and he would be getting fixed monthly payment and incentives of 2% of total property tax collected by his or her outreach. Various roles assigned to him, such as promote two-bin segregation and explain penalties, explain techniques for sanitary waste disposal, inform residents about waste collection timings, encourage them to use digital platforms for their complaints, and spread awareness about government schemes and benefits. There would be a monitoring mechanism for the same. So summary of 1 month work in a form of report should be done at the date of first of every month to Nagarpalika. And based on that, there would be a Jan Seva Baitak, which would happen once in every 6 months. Which would have citizens, department heads, COs, and Jan Seva Mandli in the picture. It has a purpose to share major updates and resolved issues and listen to people directly and build trust within them.
After summarizing all our proposals in financial feasibility for Ward 3, the capital expenditure incurred is rupees 27.8 lakh, operating expenditure is rupees 16.5 lakhs, whereas our current operating expenditure is rupees 19 lakh. So there is a total saving of rupees 2.5 lakhs. So these are the following sources where we can incur all the costs. So looking into manpower feasibility, we require like present there are five people in the department for solid waste management. So for GIS system, more 12 people are required for GIS system and 4 driver plus helper is required. While scaling the project, the cost of GIS server and its operation will be excluded. That is one-time cost 20.5 lakhs.
While implementing the proposals on ground, he might face some of the failure modes, such as workers' absenteeism, lack of digital literacy in staff, loss of ID cards, or workers forget to bring ID cards, data entry errors, and server issues for technical aspects.
On finally looking to impact assessment, we are mainly looking into door-to-door collection and street sweeping, which will lead to which will stop waste burning and lead to reducing air pollution. Also, 12 GVPs will disappear and livability of citizen will improve. In return, which will improve public health and trust and willingness to pay tax for the services, which will generate municipal on fund from citizens and citizen participation. So Nagarpalika, with efficient utilization of grants and scaling workforce through IEC activities, we will generate more efficient door-to-door collection and street sweeping. Thank you.